Hey guys, Brendan Tees here from hooper.com.au. This is episode 3, and today I'm joined with a teammate of mine and good friend, Jack Mcveigh. Thanks for coming, Jack.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Tees.
Before we get started, I'd like to mention to you guys that on hooper.com.au, I have a free workshop for you, which will teach you the 3 to 4 ways to score more points instantly without having to put in any extra work. So if you gain the knowledge by going to the workshop and watching, and you apply it to your games or your trainings, you should instantly have the power to score more points without having to put in any extra work. I know it sounds crazy, but I promise, go check it out and you'll be surprised. So I've got Jack here today, and I thought I'd just ask him a little bit about his career and his journey to making it to the professional level, but I've also got a few other things that I want to ask him. And the reason I'm doing these interviews is because I want to give you guys some information about what separates my interviewees, in this case Jack, from everybody else. So in my opinion, I see Jack as being very mentally strong and very mindful. I know he practices a lot of mindfulness. He's obviously one of the best shooters that I've played with, and I also think he has an incredible work ethic. So we'll get to that later on in the interview, but I thought I'd just start by letting you tell the people a little bit about where you're from, your junior career and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So I grew up in a small town, North New South Wales, Cabarita Beach, and kind of basketball was everything from like its first memories type of thing, was running around basketball court. I played under 9s girls league when I was 5 years old or something, because it was like, that was the youngest league, and I was tiny. So my older brother played, mum played for Australia. And then kind of my mum coached me, and I was kind of picked it up pretty quick as a junior. I was obviously tall. And my mum from like day one was like, hey, if you want to be a professional, you got to be a big guard. Like, you need to have guard skills. So from day one, like, that's what I worked on, and kind of just flowed into reps for Gold Coast, and then switched to Runaway Bay, and then made the state teams, and then went to the AIS, and kind of the rest is history.
Well, that's funny to note, and I think it's a good point for all the listeners, because I see a lot these days, if you're over a certain height, you kind of get pigeonholed as a big guy, and you don't get to, shoot from the outside or develop your ball handling skills, because they kind of put you on the low block and work out your skills that way. So I think having some parents that are pretty switched on and who have played the game, I guess could realize that potential and help you develop those skills to become a
it definitely helped me. Like, so my mum from under 12s and under 14s, we just had like a 5-out offensive pass cut move, and everyone had kind of equal opportunity, and it was like just working your ball handling kind of thing from the jump. So my mom had me doing ball handling drills from like 6, if I wanted to work on my game. So,
and I guess you see, like, in the NBA these days, like, the game's changing. You see 7-footers like Kevin Durant and Joel Embiid and Giannis and these guys who are a legit 7 foot, and they got ball handling skills like guards. So
definitely, for sure, the game's changing.
Yeah, so had a pretty successful junior career. Dominated under 20 Nationals here.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then went on to go to the AIS. Yeah. What was that experience like? And did you learn anything at the AIS or develop a mindset from the AIS that really helped launch your career further?
Yeah, the AIS was big time, because the AIS matured me quickly. Like, so it taught me to be a pro, or how to be a professional, not just as a basketball player, but like as a human being. So like how to look after myself when I was 15, kind of. So would weights in the morning, like, 6 to 7 a.m. Then it's class. Then it's like eating right, and then it would be like straight after school would be basketball training, and then we would have like study time, and then it would be eating, and then it would be like repeats. So it just kind of taught me how to be a pro from day one, like how to manage your time, and really like if you don't do the right stuff, you will fall behind. Like, if you don't get your sleep, if you don't eat, like, you will break down. This is bottom line. So I kind of learned that from a young age, and how to just look after myself.
And then you went from the AIS over to college. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, cool. So the AIS translated that experience and helped me. It's always tough living in a different country. Like, people don't realize that, especially because even though America is a similar culture, it's extremely different. But the basketball was good. I was there for 3 years. My goal was to always be a pro. Like, I wanted to be a professional. I didn't want to go to college. If I thought that was the right path for me to become better, that's why I took it. So I left after 3 years because I had a chance to be a pro for Adelaide, and so that's why I left early and came back. And yeah, it was good. It was a good experience.
Yeah, and I kind of want to make another point, and the few people that I've interviewed so far, I just want everybody to know that it's not an easy ride, and it's not like everybody has that easy ride from juniors all the way to pros, and kind of the bed's made for you and stuff like that. I want people to realize that there's obstacles along the way that you have to overcome to reach that level. Now, let's fast forward to your rookie year in Adelaide.
Yeah.
How did that kind of develop you as a person, and what did you come in expecting that it didn't turn out that way? Was there anything that you thought you were going to come in and play, or like anything like that?
I really had no idea what to expect coming in. Like, I knew the NBL was like quality. I knew the dudes in it were good. So I didn't really have any expectations. My whole mindset going in was like, hey, I'm just going to make sure I outwork people. So my rookie year was cool because I came in and just quickly realized the guys in front of me were just better than me. Like, plain and simple. Like, the guys that were in front of me were better. So it makes sitting on the bench a little easier when you know the guys in front of you are better. So my rookie year was just like a process of getting better at basketball. Like, that was just the one thing on my mind every day was, how can I get better? How can I get better? And then still obviously help the team win. When it's easy to help the boys get better because I'm just in there trying to get better myself. So like it's easy to not be like a bad teammate and stuff when the guys in my position were just better than me at basketball. So my rookie year was cool because I learned a lot. It was just like a learning process of just like watching what these guys did, how they handled their business, like how they got to where they got to, and then trying to beat them.
Yeah. And you talk about hard work and getting there early and working your butt off and stuff like that. Do you want to tell the people kind of your routine, especially over this last off season? Because I think you took it to another level with your approach to the game and your approach to training and off season stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So I've always kind of had a simple mentality growing up. It was always like, I just looked at everyone around me and I was like, what gives me the right to get better if I'm not working harder than them? So it was like, I'll just look at everyone around me and be like, okay, I have to make sure I'm doing the most. So that was kind of like my mentality my whole life from like under 12s to my rookie year. So I just stayed with that. So I looked at everyone on the team and was like, okay, I'm going to ask them all what they do and watch what all they do and make sure I'm doing more than them, kind of thing. And then there was one dude I couldn't compete with in Jacob Wiley and stuff. And then, so this off season, I kind of had to take a bit of a different approach because it was the first time I was like, wow, my body is breaking down. Like, I was like, okay, my body is hurting and I'm not getting like the results that I want to. Like, I was like, okay, I've done this method my entire life. And I was like, it's gotten me to a certain point, but I feel like that isn't improving me as much as I want to. So then this off season, I was like, okay, well, if you do the same thing, you're going to get the same results. And I was like, I want different results. Like, I want to improve quicker than what I have been. And that's when I really took the step of like, kind of like maybe cutting back half an hour to make that half an hour better. So this off season was like, I split up my training. So I'd train early in the morning, and then I'd go eat, go relax, and then I'll do weights, and then I'll go eat and relax, and then I'll go work out again and like relax and make sure that those, when I was in there, was like full locked in. Like, there's no messing around, no mucking around, just making sure that those, whether it was only 3 hours in a day or it was 4 hours, was like my maximum effort in those days. And then I started to have to learn about my body because my body's a tool rather than something I can like beat down. So like, my body's my friend instead of my enemy.
That's interesting too, because you always get told coming through juniors, all the old heads kind of say to you, oh, make sure you do stretching, make sure you do rehab, make sure you do rehab, look after your injuries, all that sort of stuff. But we kind of take it for granted when we're younger. And when you get older, you start to appreciate how much you actually need nutrition, recovery, all that kind of stuff as well.
Definitely. And I'm still young at 24 and it still hit me. Like, I was like, oh, my knees all of a sudden. And then all of a sudden, like, my back was hurting more and then my ankle was hurting. And then, I was like, oh, I got to change some things. I got to become a little smarter with what I'm doing.
And before we leave it at that, I just want to talk to you a little bit about mindfulness. So I know that you're into a lot of mindset stuff and mindfulness, and you've actually got me doing some stuff too.
Cool.
And I'm up to day 28 of 30.
Nice.
You know, whatever the mindfulness, the introduction to mindfulness or whatever on the Calm app, and I'm loving it. So appreciate you
no problem.
teaching me about that app. But do you want to tell us a little bit about how that's kind of helped you and what you get out of that?
Yeah, for sure. So it was this off season. It was the same thing. It was like, well, I need to change some things to get better. Like, so I was like, instead of me maybe running around like a headless chicken, right, which is like maybe doing 1,000 crossovers or 1,000,000 jump shots like a headless chicken, I was like, I need to find ways to get better without destroying my body or making those reps better. And I stumbled across mindfulness and like being present and working on your mind, and whether that's like sitting there for 10 minutes and concentrate, like teaching myself how to concentrate better, you know, or be happier. So that stuff's been huge. I mean, I'm still trying to improve on it every day. So my stomach gets sore during games. This is a recent one. When I get nervous, my stomach gets sore. So like pretty common for a lot of people. Yeah. So the last 3 games in particular, I've been like putting on the Calm app for 10 minutes before the game and just sitting there, because I was like, I don't want to be nervous, working on my breathing and stuff. And that's been helping me a lot, even in the last three games when it comes to performance. So for sure.
Yeah, no, that's interesting stuff. And I do recommend, if you get a chance to go check out the Calm app or any kind of mindfulness, that I truly think it is beneficial as well. And I wasn't a believer, but now I'm fully into it, and I'm a believer too. Jack, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me too.
You coming on. I see there's a couple of viewers there, so if you've got any questions, feel free to type away, and Jack will answer them, or I'll answer them for you. In the meantime, don't forget to go to www.hooper.com.au. Check out the free workshop there on how to score more points instantly. I promise you won't regret it. You'll get something out of it. It'll make you a better basketball player. So once again, Jack, thank you very much. And I'll catch you for another episode tomorrow.